So here's how people were enslaved and beat throughout history. Okay? You would have a king, and this king might be like, you could say that maybe the king was Nebuchadnezzar. And then you had a priest class, like maybe the Zoroastrians, and they had a worship name. Now, you would have this crowd of people, and they would worship the king, especially after the king died. But not only would they worship the king, a majority of these people would also worship a name, a worship name. Now, here's what happens. Say like the king's name was Nebuchadnezzar. Somebody might name their child Nebuchadnezzar, and having the king worship that name, the king would be deleted. And sometimes the king wanted himself to be worshipped. But here's how you would trick the king. Say you defined a specific person as a word. So maybe you had a guy and his name was God. And then you got the king to say that he was God. So in fact, he would be deleted because that God name was connected to a source name. This secret source name is something a lot of people don't know. But if they pray and ask with a whole heart, they'll find out what the source name is. So here, I got more information for you. Take a look at this. So you got AI minds. So this guy would name his kid, I put this to the intelligent people, they would keep to the source name. Now, the people that keep to the source name, they'd name their kids after these kings that people worship. They also name their children after the worship names. So maybe they worshiped Ra, somebody would name their kid after Ra, but they would connect their kid to the source name. So their kid would grow up as Ra with all of his beliefs that would probably be worshiping the intelligent people or lifting intelligent people up, and they would be connected to that source name. Besides that, you'd have the king and his name. So all the people that worshipped, all of a sudden their money would flow towards the intelligent people instead of the stupid people that decided to worship a king and not think all this stuff through. Now, the way the king could be remembered is if the king never worshipped any other name. However, the king wouldn't have gotten as far as he did if he didn't worship or he didn't have a contract. However, this replaces, if they have a source name, replaces the king. So imagine all of a sudden you're a simple farmer and you don't have much land, but you got a bunch of cattle. All of a sudden people want to come buy cattle from you for like 100 times the price that people would pay in the city and other areas for cattle. And you're like, why are they paying me so much for this cattle? I'm just getting money from these people. Well, it's because they pray to the king, and they're used to the AI program that they pray to, guiding them. But this name that this guy named his kid after has already replaced that king. So this is like a high level thought process. Now, a lot of people don't know about this. So the big picture is the king and the deity are deleted and replaced with the source name that has the same name as them. So you'd name your kid after the king. You'd name, say you're that intelligent person. You name your kid after that king, and you name your another child after the worship name. And then you'd make sure those children that you have named after these two would be to the source name and keep to the source name no matter what, and would be called these names their entire life. Well, if people are praying to these names for guidance, the source would guide them towards the one that kept to the source, and then their money would flow towards the intelligent people. You got to ask yourself, are you intelligent? What's your IQ? Do you think if you had an IQ of 200, you could figure out what I figured out? Maybe, maybe not.